Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. You can be seated. Welcome, everyone, to today's meeting. Please remember to silence your cell phones. First up on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I'll move that.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Mark, you pass me my pen right there. Thank you. All right, next up is the consent agenda. Items 2 through 6 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items passed unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Number 2 is approval of the minutes from the September 2nd, 2025 meeting. Number 3 is approval of claims. Number 4 from Board Administration, Karen James, is approval of resolution for abatement of taxes for Deborah Salem, St. Mary Iterarian Orthodox, I'm not even going to pronounce that, Church of Sioux City. Item B is approval to lift the tax suspension for initials DS. Number 5, County Treasurer from Tina Bertrand, approval of property tax refund on parcel ending in 3006 in the amount of $802.40. Number 6 from Human Resources, Melissa Thomas. Item A is approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. Item B is the authorization to initiate hiring process. Item C is the approval of retiree request to remain on the county health insurance. Item D is a presentation of award certificate for Don LaFay. Item E is approve the renewal of Employee and Family Resources, EFR, as our employee assistant provider. Item F is approval to provide free flu shots, to Woodbury County employees. And item G is approval to provide wellness screening and continued quarterly individual health coaching to eligible Woodbury County employees. And that is the end of the consent agenda, and I will move that.
Second.
Motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. Any discussion or questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. On to number 7 from Board Administration, Ryan Erickson. It's the approved contract with the Iowa Economic Development Authority for a community development block grant. With that, Ryan, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, as I noted in the background, on May 20th, a public hearing was held regarding the application, and a resolution was made to submit the application on behalf of the Crittenden Center. The Iowa Economic Development Authority awarded this grant in an amount of $600,000. Woodbury County will be the recipient of the grant, and the Crittenden Center will be the subrecipient. Funds will pass through the county to the Crittenden Center.
Correct.
This contract is between Woodbury County and the Iowa Economic Development Authority, and is really step one in several steps that need to be done before the funds can be released. The next step will be getting a subrecipient agreement with the Crittenden Center, and then we also most likely will need to get a grant administrator, and I'm working with Simcoe to get a contract with them so we can get the grant administration done correctly. So as I said, this is step one in numerous steps.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, for working hard on that with the Crittenden Center and with the Iowa Economic Development Authority on that. Any questions from the board regarding the contract? Pretty straightforward, Ryan, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll move that.
Second.
All right. Move it. Motion by Bittinger, second by Carper. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. Looking forward to seeing that soon. Get that money, get that to the Crittenden Center for that work to begin. All right. Now, item number 8 from Building Services, Kenny Smits. It's the approval of CMBA Architectural Services contract for the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center demo, 407 7th Street. So with that, go ahead, Kenny.
Good evening. This agenda item has been a long time coming. Very happy to get this before the board. This is for a contract with CMBA Architects for the demolition of the old law enforcement center. We've had a lot of things to do in the background before we get to this date on this contract. A lot of steps we had to take, some with the DNR, a lot of red tape, and I want to thank Melissa Thomas for sharing in the headaches with that. Also want to thank Joshua for helping Building Services get through the contract on this. Terry Glade is here with CMBA Architects, but it is our request to seek approval for this contract. This contract will allow CMBA to draft the plans and specifications for the demolition project itself. And once those plans and specifications are approved by this board, we'll move forward with the bidding process and begin demolition. If you have any questions for myself or Terry, please present those and we'll try to answer them for you.
We're just glad we're moving forward with it. It looks pretty straightforward, but how long do you think, Kenny, once we approve it, get approved and bids out, how long is that? A few months or 1 month?
I think it's a 3-month process. I'll
Okay.
lean toward Terry on that.
Oh, yeah, come on, the mic.
Yeah, Terry Glade, CMBA Architects. I'm sorry, what was the question? Which link?
Once the board approves this, what do you think is the timeline? 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, before we could actually get to demo?
Yeah, we're gonna go as quickly as possible. A lot of this work is gonna be done by a civil engineer
Okay.
working for us, and I'm just setting up a meeting now, so we'll get that schedule worked out as quickly as we can.
Okay.
A couple of months probably to get, by the time we get the public notices and the proper, hearings and lettings, or hearings and notices, all of that.
Okay.
What's the estimated time to actually demolish the building?
That I am not an expert on.
Okay.
I would think as much concrete is in there, that's gonna be probably a 3-month process
Sure.
to, at least to knock that thing down, and then you've gotta fix the site afterwards,
Sure.
at least. I mean, that's just a guess.
Yeah.
That's a guess on my part at this point. But we've actually had some out-of-state contractors calling us about it. There's news in the wind, so
Okay.
Great.
hopefully we should have some bidders.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. That was my next question. Yeah, do you think we'll have bidders or?
Yep.
Think that'll be okay.
Cool.
All right, I have no questions. All right, I'll move to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Kenny, for all your hard work on this. All right, that brings it to item 9, reports on committee meetings. Is there any from the board? I have none. I'll go first. I have none. I'll have some next week. Kenny,
Yeah,
do you need
no.
these back?
I'll have some more for next week too.
Okay.
But we had a LEC meeting this afternoon. We are going to start going to meetings once a month. So I believe the next one now is for October 9th. And then September 11th looks like. So there's just not as much going on, so no need to have meetings every 2 weeks. The biggest discussion. What's that? Oh, November 11th, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, November 11th will be that meeting, and then October 9th will be the next one, so. But anyway, one of the areas of discussion today was kind of a continuation of last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, discussing the representation of the Law Enforcement Center Authority at mediation, because that's a ridiculous 3-member board, which again, we cannot change. We can only have 1 representative at mediation because 2 would constitute an open meeting. And so, the county can send 2 people if they wish, because we're a 5-member board, but as a supervisor and someone on the authority, I can't be there if another authority member is there. And so, I've had a lot of feedback from taxpayers about representation on the authority. The county has funded that thing 100%. Every penny they've spent has been money that we've given or levied. And 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of people that were there and in the lead up to these meetings and even in the weeks past, had a lot of comments that as the only elected representative on the authority and the only one that's really been down and dirty with this project and really been involved, and Dan Binger has too,
Oh,
for
you're
the
good,
last 3 years. But I easily have the most knowledge of
Right,
anybody on
you
this
do.
board, and
Right.
Dave and Kent are freshmen down there. And Matthew was too, but Dan has been very involved this past year. So I had an item that would appoint me as a representative, and that failed on a 2-1 vote. Or actually, I didn't even get a second, so it was a 2-1 vote to appoint Ron, and I was really disappointed. And I understand where the public's coming from, you know, when you have appointed volunteers like we have on the LEC Authority or on the Zoning Commission or Board of Adjustment, things of that nature, there's certain duties that they have and certain ones that they don't have. And I feel like, I know that us supervisors are in charge of the purse, the county's purse. And when we deal with, unfortunately, any matters of litigation or mediation in the county, it's always us 5 that deal with that. And I think this is really unprecedented because this is the first time that I can find that an unelected, appointed person is going to be representing county taxpayers. And I talked about what's worse is that this appointment was, Chairman Wick was appointed on the authority 6 years ago. And the board at that time, 4 of those 5 supervisors are no longer in office. So not only do you have that, you know, complete lack of representation, but 3 of those supervisors that ran off, their election would have been 4 years prior. So really the last time the citizens have had any voting say towards the now chairman of the authority was almost 10 years ago. And that's a long time for someone to not have representation. And so I understand the frustration, and I was really disappointed with it today. I made the argument that the county's, you know, it's all county money. It's just the claims, you have 2.5 million-ish coming from the authority, and you have 4.5 million-ish coming from the county, that their decision today actually didn't put the best people in place from here to go after the most money. And I think that's the biggest fallacy in this whole thing. And so there are, you know, things that we could do as a board if we wanted to put our foot down. I think that we have a duty to the taxpayers to be involved completely in this process. I don't think anybody unelected to the county should be deciding what kind of money we'll take in damages or speaking on our behalf. I think it needs to come from us 5. And so I would entertain any options to try to remedy that. Mediation is set for the week of Thanksgiving, and so we're going to start preparing for that. And I would note too that this county is paying all the attorney fees, and we're going to have somebody that's not elected that's going to be involved in all those conversations with legal. And you know, the question is, do we trust that person to be racking up that tab? Whereas, you know, any other time we have outside counsel, typically we direct the chairman to control costs and control information flow. And I just feel like I'm kind of getting cut out of this completely. So I'm frustrated. I would like to see changes on that body. There's going to be big changes with the city council. Obviously, there's 3 seats, 3 incumbents not running, and you've got a slew of candidates that are, so there's going to be big changes with the city council. But that's what happened today. I'd encourage you to go back and listen or watch the meeting from today and the meeting from 2 weeks ago. A lot of good comments, but I'm going to continue to stew over this, I think, and I'm definitely going to be thinking about how we can attack this from a different angle. So, thank you.
All right. All right. On to item 10, any citizen concerns? All right, seeing none in the audience. All right, on to number 11, board concerns. I just have an update. Next week, I was going to put on the agenda some updates regarding CIPs, some of the stuff Kenny brought forward to the board, but we're going to wait till next week, correct, Ryan?
Yeah, actually, I'll have one item to reallocate some funds, but then once that's done, we can discuss
Sure.
the new projects.
Yeah, so just so with the Anthem Courthouse and the auditor and recorder's office, just so you guys know, But that'll be on September 16th's agenda, so just want to let you know. We haven't forgot yet, but just, we want to do our due diligence, and Ryan brought some things up. I want to make sure we have good numbers on and talk through with Kenny and before we bring anything up, so. That's all that I have for board concerns at the moment. Any other board concerns?
I have two kind of fun things. One is Made and Found is going to happen in Anthon, September 19th and 20th, so not this coming weekend, but the next one. There are some gals from Anthon that put together, really it is a vendor fair of local vendors, small business owners, and it's called Made and Found because they don't just take anybody that's involved with some sort of or reselling products to somebody else. These are people that either make their own products or marketing their own products. And so it's a really neat thing. They've had incredible turnout. I think this is the 4th or 5th year that they've done it. They're at the City Park and Anthon Event Center right across the street. You wouldn't believe all the people. I think Auditor Scaff was there last year, were you not? Yeah, a lot of people. So that's coming up in 2 weeks. So it's a very fun thing. Usually the weather's great, so mark that on your calendar. But then this weekend, at the Sioux City Convention Center is Nature Calls. And if you've not heard of Nature Calls, it is kind of the one and only the biggest fundraiser for Woodbury County Parks. And it's a fun event. It starts at 6 o'clock. You can buy tickets at the door. They have all kinds of silent auction items. They have food. They have drink samples that you can get from all these different vendors. It's a lot of fun. But it's the biggest fundraiser for any of our county parks, for the Nature Center, for the programs, whether it's day camps or seminars, all those things. And so if you enjoy the parks, if you want to support the parks, this is a great opportunity to go and do that Saturday night. I promise you, you'll have a good time. But and you can find more information if you go to Dorothy Pico's Facebook page on Facebook, and you can buy advance tickets or buy them at the door. But Nature Calls this Saturday.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Nissen. Awesome. All right, anything else? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned.